Hey, Sayreville. Welcome back to SERA Spotlight. I'm John Zebrowski, chairman of the Sayreville Economic Redevelopment Agency. Today, we're exploring how Sayreville is redefining its future through thoughtful redevelopment, transforming underutilized industrial sites into thriving places, live work, and gatherings. Every one of these projects reflects our shared goal, building a safer, stronger, and more vibrant Sayreville. Joining me today is Justin Cornell, engineer for SERA, along with David Samuel, both from CME Engineering, key partners guiding the planning, design, and technical oversight of our redevelopment program. Justin, welcome to SERA Spotlight.
Thanks for having me, John.
Listen, what we'd like to do is start off with the simplest question, which I know is not a simple question, it's complex, but what really is redevelopment and how does that fit into the goals of Sayreville moving forward and seeing it economically prosper moving in the future?
Well, a redevelopment area is defined as an area in need of redevelopment by the local redevelopment and housing law. There's certain criteria that need to be met in order to become a redevelopment area. And when you meet those, you have certain planning tools and development abilities to really make an area redevelop.
So in essence, though, we're not looking at an area that's been doing very well economically. In essence, we're looking at areas that might be brownfields, what might be business areas that are thriving, but not necessarily meeting standards moving forward. But areas that can that need a little extra attention. Correct?
Exactly. Areas like a blighted building, environmental contaminated ones. Areas that are feeling economic stagnation or obsolescence, as anything like that, where the redevelopment agency decided that it's time to take a look at that and put together a redevelopment plan to improve the area and to really help Sayreville as a whole.
And really, at that plan, by putting that together and working with SERA, the developer or the property owner that does that, in essence, they're not bypassing any processes in Sayreville, right, in order to get that approval. It just kind of puts everything into a package, right, where SERA looks at it from an environmental perspective, from a building perspective, from an engineering perspective, from a legal perspective, and that way that package moves forward through the processes of review that are normally there for each project. Correct?
Absolutely. There's no special ability that they could bypass the planning board or anything like that. It's still thoroughly reviewed with just a redevelopment plan that Sayreville can put input to, that it could help with the infrastructure and help with the local area.
And one of the areas that, and listen, I guess it's really kind of on the forefront of everybody's mind right now is we see Bass Pro Shop and it's really wonderful to be able to see that building coming together, right?
Absolutely.
But that in particular is a good subject to start with when you talk about economic redevelopment, because we're talking about a vast areas within the waterfront. And obviously, we're also talking about a brownfield, one that was probably one of the worst in New Jersey, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So talk about that site. Talk about the breadth of how big it is, the parcels that are there, and really the mixed use that's going in and why that's important.
Sure. So the waterfront redevelopment area is actually over 900 acres of area designated that have a very ambitious and exciting plan where we have items like the Riverton project, which is 300 acres, and it includes economic opportunity. It includes environmental cleanup, but also calls for public improvements where it has a waterfront walkway. They call for a possible amphitheater, infrastructure improvements. And it also calls for 2,000 residential units within the Riverton area on top of the Bass Pro Shop, which is the anchor store.
Now, my understanding that this property actually starts on the other side of Route 35 and then comes all the way around down up to the, I guess it would be the Middlesex County Utility Authority. Is that correct? Or does it go beyond
It's even beyond that. So it's actually broken up into 13 parcels, each with their unique aspects in the redevelopment plan. Parcel A is an area that has been completely cleaned up and designated as open space.
And I think that's very important, right? So it's going to remain in the condition that it is after being cleaned.
Yes, yes.
It has been deeded to the Middlesex County.
Correct. It'll be Green Acres in Middlesex County.
Okay. And you can follow us through the rest.
So then we have Parcel B, which was behind the former Amboy Cinema site. And there we call for possible future entertainment and commercial property. Parcel C is the Riverton project. And then all the other areas, they're existing infrastructure, but it calls for maybe improving them, updated architecture, updated streetscape, just something to really make the area more beautiful and also clean any contamination that's there, really beautify the entire area.
And at the end of the day, you want to preserve that waterfront.
Yes, absolutely. The public walkway, it's an important part of Sayreville. It's an opportunity to see this beautiful area. So the walkway and the environmental cleanup will make it a destination.
I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to seeing more of that, besides just the brass pro shop, but everything else that's coming across there.
Same here.
And then let's move on a little bit to an area that that has been some controversy, but quite frankly, at the end of the day, there's a need that was seen by SERA moving forward, particularly to clean up some and mitigate some environmental issues, but also to preserve some wetlands. And we're talking about the Hercules property. And as we all know, at one time, Sayreville was known for its nationally known industries, and one of which was Hercules. But over time, things transition. And Justin, that transition has resulted with the Arsenal site.
Yes. So the Hercules property, that's broken up into 5 sections. The first one was the Arsenal site, which includes those 3 warehouses, but it also includes, it calls for commercial opportunities. It calls for potential manufacturing areas, data centers. It maximizes the land, the developable land, but it preserves any wetland, any environmental problems in the area. The plan really calls to make sure that everything is protected while maximizing possible tax dollars for the borough and job opportunities.
And the key as well is that we're looking for that roadway.
Yes. So a requirement in the plan is that any sort of construction that has to be done, a road must be built. So the ultimate goal of the plan would be to have a road from Journey Mill Road to Cheesequake.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll take any sort of heavier truck and take it to roads that can handle it and make them avoid the local roads.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about another couple of sites, and one of which is we talk about energy. At one time, Sayreville was known as the king of energy. My dad worked at the powerhouse, which was down on River Road for many, many years. In fact, I mean, if you didn't work for Hercules or DuPont, you worked for the powerhouse, right? That's kind of how it all worked. So I had an opportunity to be down there on many days, and it really was quite a sight when it was in full use. And it's unfortunate as time goes on and energy policies have moved on, that infrastructure kind of went down on the downside, right? It had its end of use.
Yes.
But the good news is we have other sites, actually several sites, but one in particular, which is the Florida Power and Light property, which is off the Journey Mill Road, that is producing energy for us.
Yeah. So the Florida Power and Light is actually the first redevelopment plan created in Sayreville. It was, I think, 1989. Where that plan was built, and then it allowed us to build the Sayreville Energy Center over by Journey Mill in Bordentown. That was constructed in 1991 and it's still active today. And that parcel allows for future energy sites and future development, where it takes us from heavy industrial to more modern, cleaner energy up to current codes.
And that's really a key. And hopefully New Jersey does become an energy producer again, and Sayreville will continue to lead in that industry. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Close by to that, actually, is a site that just closed that Sayreville has sold, and that is Landfill 3.
Yes.
It's an area that I know Sayreville took particular attention to making sure that the development that was coming in there was, number one, able to mitigate the environmental issues that were there, and there were a number of them,
Yes.
but also that the industry that came in didn't add to the congestion that we talk about of truck traffic and vehicle traffic on Journey Mill Road.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. So what's going in on that landfill property is a cold storage warehouse that is known to have less truck traffic. It really just maintains food industries, less cars on the road, less daily truck traffic. And another benefit of that is that the developer who's going to build those cold storage warehouses is taking over ownership of that landfill. Mm-hmm. So landfills with themselves, they have environmental worries, that there's fumes that come up, and all the old maintenance, originally the problem of Sayreville, now the developer will take responsibility for that.
Yeah, initially Sayreville was responsible for that cleanup. Right?
Yes.
And that not only is that a huge risk to take,
yes,
it's a very expensive one as well.
Exactly.
And we were able to, through that sale and through this development, through redevelopment programs such as ours, we were able to mitigate that to a point that now it's someone else's responsibility.
Yes.
And we brought in an industry that won't be overburdensome to traffic.
To the road. Exactly. It increases taxes, so it helps the borough.
Yeah.
So it really was a win-win.